Eliminate the workplace excuse. That's what leaders do. This is the Career Blind Spot Podcast.
CBQ, Courtney Blind Spot question. God, I love making you make that face. Juan, how come you never talk about what it was like to work at Disney?
How come I never talk about it? I feel like I talk, well, I don't know. That's not the question I told you to ask. But how come I never talk about it? I forget, and I'm old. It was 23 years ago, 24 years ago. That's why I don't talk about it.
You can almost rent a car.
My distance away from Disney? Yes.
What was it like?
That's a different question. It was, a totally different time because no phone, no internet. Or no, we had internet, but very limited. But it really, so it was in Disney World, Walt Disney World, Kissimmee, Florida, or Orlando, Florida. I was 19, and had no friends intentionally. I remember there was other people going down. I was going to community college, and it was really the first thing I actually ever wanted to do. And like when I think about it, I was like, I traveled across the country with like printed out of pieces of paper to tell me where to go. And then it was a part-time job. I think we made like $5 an hour. The full-time employees weren't fans, but it was really fun to work there. It was like, I went to Glendale Community College while I was going. Later, ASU came. But I lived at home. Working at Disney World was like college without classes.
Okay.
I think that's the most succinct way to say that.
Okay, I like it. So you were living at home. How did your parents react to you?
Ooh, they were not excited. My dad even told me, don't go. I was being selfish. And I'm like, cool. And I didn't realize
one of my favorite stories.
The significance of that, because it was really the first time I, one, wanted to do something, and two, didn't let anyone, especially my parents' opinion, sway. I ended up working all these side jobs to earn money because they're like, hey, you should probably come down with like $1,500. And I was probably weighed what I weighed now, but I'd never lifted weights. And so I was definitely heavy set. And within midsummer, I was already down like 20 pounds. And then when I came back, I was even lighter because I never ate. But I wanted it. Like I was doing the work to have that job. And I didn't even know what the freaking job was. I can tell you that in a bit. But yeah, my mom wasn't against it, but she wasn't excited. And maybe I remember that incorrectly. But yeah, my dad wanted me to finish school, which I still did. And I still finished it technically in 4 years. But yeah, I went. I think that's too. I didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
And I was just like, there's a castle and I have a plane ticket. And I remember that was the last time, not that I traveled that much when I was younger, but my parents, they saw me off at the gate because 9/11 happened.
Yeah, that's my next
2-3 weeks
question.
later.
So tell us what it was like working at Disney World as 9/11 is
So
happening.
I got a medal and I gave it back because that was the second time in history that the parks had to be evacuated. There was something else in like the 70s. But because of the threats of Pentagon and all this other stuff, what it was like, I woke up that day and I was supposed to go to work. And what happens is they gave everyone a medal who was on work, but I had switched schedules. And we were actually going to go to, I think it's called Company D, where if you lose stuff at Disney World, like they sell it.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
They wait a certain amount of time, but me and my friend were going to go.
To employees only, or can we get in on that?
I think just to employees.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, this is 24 years ago. Who knows? But anyway, I had the day off, and also my friend comes over in the morning. He's like, hey, are you watching TV? I'm like, no, I'm asleep, man. And it was like 6:50 something Eastern time. And we're watching it, and it was like this, And I think I went to work the next day, and it was like empty. The movie Zombieland, where that's what it was like. And even going there before 9/11, it was already slow. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They told us you're going to be working a lot, probably like 50, 60 hours. We were lucky to get like 35, which at that time was like, yeah, I don't want to work, but also then you don't have money. So yeah, it definitely put a damper on hours. The park was super slow. It did pick up eventually. But yeah, that next day the next week, here's one. And I remember it was like a nice award. And I'm like, I can't keep this.
Respect, honestly.
But I wish I'd had it now. I could show it off.
No, I love that you didn't take it.
Yeah.
I love that about you. Tell me what you learned about standing on your feet all day.
Actually, no, I learned that in the summer. I was working at these, what is it called? Temp agency. I was breaking out cardboard in a factory. Like, this is fun. Cut to an hour later. This sucks, and paper cut, whatever. And I had been standing on cement, and that job had told me wear good shoes.
Yeah. And
I think I saw someone like standing on cardboard. I'm like, what are they doing? And then I went home, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm 18 at the time, and I'm like, what the hell? And someone's like, you got to wear good. And so that trip or that experience, I knew when I got down there, like that was one of the first things I did. I probably should have bought shoes before, but I don't know if they gave you money. There was a reason I waited down, and I got like these good quality shoes, and it was never an issue. Side comment: when I was working that summer, breaking out cardboard.
I love this story.
They were like, "Hey, Juan, do you want to do something else?" I'm like, "Yes, please," because we're just all around, just like I don't know what we were doing exactly. They're like, "Yeah, we need you to wrap this cardboard. Comes off a conveyor belt on a stack, about like 8 feet high, 4x4, something." I'm like, the lady's doing it. She keeps falling. It's going to be a safety risk. I was like, oh, sure, I don't know. You show me what to do. And all of a sudden, we come around like these big, what do you call it, conveyor belts. You have to like jump over, like step on to get over. And it's my grandma, my Nana, and she's falling. I'm like, Nana, what are you doing? And I was like, I just took your job. Get out of here. And so, but you had to take these big old saran wrap and wrap them step like, and I'm like, and this is 24 years ago. My grandma's like, she's like 60, 65 at the time, but she was always tough and not as coordinated, but that was
your Nana's a different
surprise.
Podcast.
Yeah. That's got a paywall podcast.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets about going to Disney?
Not going. I regret not going back. If I would have gotten like free pass, whatever, if I worked there once a year. I remember when I was down there, I took a couple of classes. It was I think in high school I took disc, but I actually took a communications class that I'm not even sure if the credit transferred, and that was probably my fault. And we learned disc, and I totally forgot until years later where I was like, I've seen this before in my notes of being distracted. But I was glad I took the class. Probably should have took more. But there was this friend of a friend who, on one of the parade routes that I had, or like night shows, one day I saw her, like everyone would wear like, there's the costume people. I was in a very boring suit. Maybe we'll put a picture up of like, not a suit, like a bright yellow shirt and khaki pants. Like it just looked like
an employee,
sanitation or something. But she went from selling the food and had kind of a get up to like a manager. And I was like, hey, like, congrats, or what? And she got put into some program. And, at this time I wasn't an entrepreneur. I wasn't all these things, but I remember there was a part of me of like, I want to do that. But then I'm like, I'm not responsible. And, and they're also actually, I totally forgot about that. There's one of the studios that's actually where I worked, but the amusement park, the behind is where they would actually make some of the animation. And I wanted to draw. And one day I think it was like the first week, because I was like, oh, I'll go there, I'll intern, blah, blah, blah. Not realizing I'll have nothing to do. But I saw this guy, he was drawing like the city, like in the morning, like as a warm up. I'm like, wow, you're really good. I was like, what's your job? He was like, erasing. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, you don't really get a job until someone like passes away. So, and I'm like, that guy's really good. And his job is erasing. I don't think I'm going to be an artist anymore. And so I totally forgot about that. That was my like broad reason of why I wanted to go, other than the fun of going to Disney.
All right. What was your least favorite attraction at Disney?
There was a tram ride, and it got off, and it had all the gowns of like the 1900s movies, like Greta Garbo and Breakfast at Tiffany's. What's her
Audrey
name?
Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn. Yeah. So I walked around those dresses for probably an hour or two on one of my shifts every time.
I'm so jealous of you right now.
The good plus was it was air conditioned.
Okay.
And I would just practice walking, because you were empty most of the time. The tram would let out, whatever. And I would just like practice walking in a straight line with my eyes closed, forward and backward.
Oh my God. Yeah. I love you so much.
Keep going.
All right. Let's see. So you didn't have any regrets. What was the biggest lesson, like life lesson, that you learned that you took home with you?
I got to get a job, because I was like, oh, this was fun, but this is not a lot of money. and seeing other people flame out on responsibility. One more succinctly, biggest lesson, toothpaste doesn't magically refill, because I was away from home and I realized like, I need toothpaste. And then the next day, I still need toothpaste. Oh, I have to go get it. My mom's not here. Yeah. So that was, and it happened, but also to see other people who were way behind. And so yeah, that was one of the initial ones, but then definitely going back home, which I remember being like, I don't want to go home. Or I was going to miss it, but I was like, I need to go home and get education or do something. But the biggest lesson was like, I need skills. I know I'm a nice person, whatever, but I was like, I don't have any skills. And you would think I would have had a different kind of college experience, but a different podcast for a different day. But yeah, I was like, being on my own at minimum wage was not like a wake up call. It was just like, oh yeah, you're really lucky to have the parents that you have. And seeing other people who had more options, but also still seeing them like struggle for like basic social skills or grocery store shopping. Or
what's your call to action on this one?
Yeah, the call to action, I think we'll probably talk about it again, but oh yeah, we never even said what I did I?
No.
Yeah, so I was basically crowd control. I did this was the main skill they taught me, a gesture. You don't point, that's rude. And then you ask people if they ever hurt themselves, throw up or skin their knee, like you have to ask them 3 times to go to first aid. But the first time usually is like, no. Second time, they're kind of disoriented. The third time, usually people are like, yeah, I should probably go. And so I didn't realize, oh, Disney taught me customer service. I thought I just added these inherent skills. But yeah, I did the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the stage show, and just kind of, hey, take your hands off the stage, whatever. There was a parade, the 3:00 parade, which people like to ask you what time that one starts.
What time did it start at?
And Fantasmic, that was the best one at night. Weird phenomenon. People would they sell ice cream and hot chocolate, and it was cold when I was there, or later eventually. Everyone eats ice cream even when it's cold. And then, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That show was really big back then. And I did crowd control for that. And then, Regis and Kathy Lee, which I was like, I don't think anyone even knows what that is anymore. I think it's Kelly and someone else now, like a daytime show.
Yeah.
It's basically like Kelly Clarkson type show. So I got to see him, and I saw a couple celebrities, depending on your reference of pop culture. But I think the biggest claim to fame was Susan Lucci. She was tiny.
The queen of daytime.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she almost hit me with her donut as I was going through the backstage.
Throwing it at you?
Yeah. I just remember I got bit by a spider when I worked there, and my arm like swelled up. So there's a lot of other...
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff, yeah.
So the call to action, I remember being that young, which I think translates to 29, probably 10 years later, starting this business, of like, I don't have a plan, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to leave TTI or leave this job or leave a steady paycheck.
I thought you were insane.
But like,
I loved it.
Not
but I thought
tunnel
you were
vision,
insane.
but that feeling of like, I'm just going to do this.
You were so confident.
I didn't feel confident, but I didn't feel scared either. I was just like, it's time. I'm going to go do this. Like, and I had that feeling, and I think I had it more, and I didn't listen as much. Like in hindsight, I'm like, why didn't I go back? But my call to action is like, reflect on your big risk in the past when you did something that other people were like, no, don't do that. And you're like, I'm doing it anyway.
I think it's so cool that you did it anyway.
I think that says a lot about the person who you are, want to be, and probably the people who love and care about you the most will gladly support and show up for you. So.
I'm not going to lie. Hearing you say the words, I did crowd control, it made me think like, all right, you handsome.
What?
Like, it makes me think like, ooh, he did crowd control. Young Juan with his muscles.
What do you think? Not like I was pushing the crowd.
Well, I don't know. Let me have my fantasy.
All right. I think we've gone on long enough as the rated R version.
I make this show for leaders, those who don't point fingers, but point towards ways they can do better at work. My ask for listening is you share the show on social and or with other leaders, established or aspiring. Until then, no talent, no culture, no excuses.